you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all time. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program.
Spokespersons of the All Progressives Congress, Festus Keyamo, also congratulated Binani after the declaration. Keyamo took to his official Twitter page to describe Aisha's victory as a glass-shattering watershed for Nigerian women, while his tweet just woke up in the U.S. to this wonderful news. I am screaming my head off here. This is such a glass-shattering watershed for the women of Nigeria. Huge congratulations to my sister, Senator Aishatu Dahiru Ahmed Binani. At a point in the struggle, we were speaking like a dozen times a day on the phone. Special thanks to all those who worked so hard for this. Special thanks to the good people of Adamawa State for smashing this hoodoo of gender bias. Special thanks to the APC for making this possible. Special thanks to President Muhammadu Buhari for providing such sterling leadership. Special thanks to Nigerians for your support and prayers. Now, for the women of Nigeria, please go ye forth to conquer. I mean, that would be, I can see you rolling your eyes, but it would have been a perfect speech if she actually was the winner. I mean, it really would have been amazing. But I mean, this is the issue with the spokespeople. I know you always have issues with the spokespeople, especially from the APC. But in the meanwhile, the Inec rec, Hidu Unisa Ari, is reported to have been paid huge sums of money to rig the gubernatorial election in Adamawa State. In a video that made the rounds on social media on Sunday, an alleged senior DSS official who was apprehended by some young people at City Green Hotels in Yola stated that he was told to give the rec about 2 billion naira to rig the election.
National commissioner.
Noah.
To rig an election.
Noah.
Neither actually billions of naira.
Noah, how many?
Let us say 2 billion.
Let us say. To make a green city.
Next of having the Kennedy, about the Kaika. Nigeria, the Timina, and the arrest. One night the night of the arrest. I can go arrest this cabinet.
Okay, that's how the
I can come arrest this cabinet with the animal. No anti Yaka.
You see the way.
But you were saying, I can
Well, meanwhile, a Professor Abdullahi Abdul Zuru, the present INEC Commissioner Northwest and former Vice Chancellor of Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, and Federal University of Technology, Mina, who was sent to Adamawa State as part of INEC's supervisory activities, was attacked by a mob who mistook him for the Adamawa State rec, Barrister Hidu Unisa Ari, for illegally returning Aisha Dahiru Binani as governor-elect.
Now, just wear your trouser, Now,
over 60 years now.
Now, Baba. But the return officer, they have sent the return officer, they
are this was frustrating to watch. I mean, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, wow, really? This man has been disgraced. But this is so unfair that this happened to this man. And why? Because INEC dropped the ball again.
Well,
Ayo, please, your comment.
Yes, INEC dropped the ball royally in Adamawa State over the weekend, as with in other states, because there are 24 states where supplementary elections were held over the weekend. But Adamawa State is in the spotlight because of what a number of people have described as a naked dance in the marketplace, a royal show of shame, the highlight of the drama amongst dramas that have occurred in the elections this year, and INEC not being ready, as they assured Nigerians in the days leading to the elections. But speaking to Professor Zuru, yes, INEC was complicit. INEC was, not complicit, but INEC can be looked at as not producing an election that people can write home about. However, it is no justification for people to take matters into their own hands and beat up a man who then turns out to be innocent, such that they stripped him of his dignity, stripped him of his, of any sense of dignity, really. As we're speaking earlier on to Mr. Osaze Uzi, earlier on, he had talked about the fact that this is even a discouragement for people who, because this is a professor, a former VC of a university, who has been so disgraced nationally in this way and in this manner. He's been summoned to the INEC office in this morning alongside the REC who announced the illegal results. And going back to the earlier, what you had mentioned earlier on, let me speak to, because I know Doctor would speak to the illegality of what was done on Saturday. But let me speak to Mr. Festus Keyamo and Senator Binani. First of all is that Senator Binani must have known that, number one, results were not fully collated, therefore they shouldn't have called on a winner. Second of all, that the person who announced her as winner was not legally or constitutionally, there was no constitutional provision for him to announce her as winner, so illegal on all fronts. Therefore, she coming out very quickly to give an acceptance speech in itself is very suspect. And the fact that she's a serving senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, so she should know better. It just demonstrates the fact that politicians in Nigeria, unfortunately, are desperate for power enough to not mind the process, or whether it's legal or illegal, the fact that they just announce, and then anything you want to do, the very famous saying, go to court, is what they would just announce me and let everybody else go to court. And then I feel very sad as a woman because it puts a blight on what a number of people have said should be a process where women around Nigeria should be very jubilant about the fact that we could potentially produce the first elected female governor of a state, a northern state for that matter, in Nigeria. It rubbishes the process and it almost takes away the shine of that golden moment. And then Mr. Festus Keyamo, as an SA and a senior advocate of Nigeria, a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a man who is learned by every sense, in every sense and by every word, coming out to celebrate and talk about an illegality in itself is one that he should probably delete his Twitter handle and not tweet for a while. It is disgraceful. Unfortunately, it is quite disgraceful, and a lot more is expected from him.
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of these, actually. I mean, this is, I think it's still up there, Dr. Abati.
Well, just to say this, Festus Keyamo allowed his emotions to get ahead of him. He could give the excuse that he was in the U.S., different time zones, because he had been cited at the spring meetings of the IMF,
that's what he said in
World
the tweets.
Bank.
Yeah.
And, maybe because of time difference, he probably did not know what was going on exactly at home. The excitement that he has shown, if the lady had actually won, it would have been properly placed. After all, there were many other persons, even during the initial election that was inconclusive, who had already started congratulating her.
Yes.
But Festus Keyamo, having now been fully apprised of the situation, and given his status as a legal practitioner, one would have expected that 24 hours later, he would have deleted that particular tweet. I wouldn't say his entire Twitter account, but that particular tweet. But I checked, it is still there. And that is what even makes it, really embarrassing. Now, the second issue about Mrs. Aisha Dahiru. I think Mrs. Aisha Dahiru, popularly known as Binani, owes the people of Adamawa State, and indeed the people of Nigeria, an apology for delivering an acceptance speech that may not work eventually when the entire process is concluded. Because as at the point the Collation Center went on recess and said they would reconvene at 11, the Fintri, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, was leading with 31,496 votes in 7 out of the 10 local governments that had been declared so far. There were still 10 local government areas to be declared. And the candidate of the APC, having our own, agents, party agents at the Collation Center, could not have pretended that she wasn't aware that that process had not been concluded. So what do we say to all of this? There is need for investigation, thorough investigation of what happened, and allegations that money exchange hands and all of that will require investigation, thorough investigation. Now, having done the investigations, we will expect that persons should be sanctioned. The Uduari, the resident electoral commissioner who went and engaged in this act of impunity, has been told to report to the Inec headquarters in Abuja. But another report has said that he is at large. I think he should be immediately declared a wanted person if he does not show up. Because, as I have pointed out earlier on this program, there are so many infractions of the law with specific penalties prescribed in the Electoral Act under Section 120, subsection 4. And also, if we check the Criminal Code, Section 294, you are not allowed to cause a breach of the public peace. It caused a breach of public peace. Yes. And it caused damages.
Absolutely.
And that takes me to the professor, the national commissioner. I think Inec should learn its own lessons from here. Better protection should be provided for Inec officials on the field. The professor, Professor Zulu, he was not even at the place where the crime was committed, but he was the one that aggrieved persons saw and they said, oh, this is the Inec man, and they subjected him to bodily harm. Even if it was Udu Hari, the alleged offender that was apprehended, we do not recommend jungle justice. Jungle justice is unacceptable. Nobody should be subjected to extrajudicial punishment. So that is the point there. And INEC has issued a statement to say that they're going to take up the matter and ensure that the security agencies prosecute the persons who are responsible for the assault on that former vice chancellor. However, the security agencies themselves are part of the problem.
Yeah.
Was it not a DSS official that you showed in that video who was being queried? Was it not the police commissioner and other policemen who were reported to have provided protection for Uduari, the man who illegally announced a result? So this is the problem. There should be a general probe. And it's not just INEC, the Inspector General of Police, the other security agencies should ensure that people who have tried to derail the process are brought to book. And finally, INEC must show good faith in ensuring that the process is concluded.
Yeah. We
cannot have double inconclusive election, whether in Adamawa or elsewhere. The due process should continue, and the properly, validly elected person should be duly announced. And all the stakeholders in Adamawa should be advised that the entire country is watching them, and we do not want the kind of impunity, the kind of criminality, the kind of desperation that we have seen in Adamawa. The only people that will gain from this will probably be the people in Nollywood who would find this very good stuff for future entertainment.
I mean, I can't even describe it as entertainment. It is quite shocking, very embarrassing. I'm embarrassed as a Nigerian for this to be happening. I mean, there is clear indication. We have videos. We had that DSS, alleged DSS officer who said that, who claimed that Hiru was paid 2 billion naira, and then we're still here. No one's been apprehended at this point. Well, in the same vein, reports indicating that the candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, won the February 25th presidential election in Obiokpo, local government area of Rivers State, according to reports uploaded on the INEC results viewing portal. IREV has made the rounds on social media. Ayo, Dr. Abati, this same report, I mean, we are having the same information about INEC's, what would I even call it at this point? I don't even know what to use to describe INEC at this. Is it ineptitude?
Corruption?
I mean, what can we use to describe INEC at this point? There is reports of rigging in River State. I mean, the numbers are huge. I don't know if you saw that report. And then we are not even hearing anything at this point from INEC. Why is Adamawa State different from River State, Dr. Abati?
Well, I mean, in this particular case, this report from Obiokpo local government. By the way, that's the local government area of the governor of Rivers State. And also from Degema is the report of investigation carried out by Premium Times.
Yes.
A newspaper. And what Premium Times did was to just
tabulate the report.
Compare what is reported in the Inec reporting portal, IREV, with what was announced on election day. And they pointed out discrepancies in that regard. So you give them credit for investigative journalism. However, the matter of the election has gone to the tribunal.
Yes.
Petitions have been filed, cross petitions have been filed. So the evidence that is available is now for the lawyers to present before the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. But I always say it, in election matters, what is required is substantial compliance.
Right.
So once INEC can prove substantial compliance, well, that's where, the fireworks will probably begin.
All right.